They found a skull. It was 50,000 years old, and the person it belonged to should have been dead decades earlier. He had no teeth. His bones were broken. He couldn't hunt. He couldn't run. He was completely dependent on others just to survive. But he didn't die young. He lived for a long time. And when scientists looked closer, they realized something that changed everything they thought they knew about ancient humans. These people, living in the wild, with no hospitals, no medicine, no doctors, were somehow keeping the sick alive. So the question isn't, what did ancient humans do when they got sick? The real question is, what did they know that we've forgotten? Here's what makes this strange. For most of human history, getting sick was a death sentence. At least that's what we assumed. We imagined ancient humans as brutal, efficient, ruthless survivors who abandoned the weak because survival demanded it. But the evidence kept disagreeing. Archaeologists kept finding skeletons that told impossible stories. A woman in ancient Iraq with a degenerative spine, cared for years. A child in prehistoric Europe with a skull deformity, who lived into adulthood. Elderly individuals with arthritis so severe they couldn't feed themselves, yet fed they were. Someone was taking care of them. This is where the mystery begins, because caring for the sick costs something enormous in the wild. It costs food, it costs time, it costs energy that could go toward hunting, building, surviving. From a pure survival standpoint, it makes no sense, and yet it happened consistently across continents, across thousands of years, which means it wasn't accidental. It was a choice, and that choice points to something deeper about what ancient humans actually understood about sickness, something that took modern science centuries to catch up to. They understood that illness was not just a physical event, it was a social one. When someone in an ancient community fell ill, something remarkable happened. The group reorganized around them. People brought food, stayed close, performed rituals, chanting, touching, smoke, song, not because they understood germ theory, but because instinctively they knew that isolation made sickness worse. And here's the part that surprises researchers even today. They were right. Modern psychoneuroimmunology, the science of how the mind affects the immune system, has confirmed what ancient humans seemed to sense intuitively. Social connection directly strengthens immune response. Loneliness measurably accelerates disease. The presence of trusted others lowers cortisol, reduces inflammation, and helps the body heal faster. Ancient humans didn't have a word for this. They just did it. But there's another layer. Because they didn't only offer presence, they offered plants. Researchers studying Neanderthal burial sites found something extraordinary. Pollen, concentrated and deliberate, yarrow, groundsel, ephedra, plants with measurable anti-inflammatory, analgesic, and antibacterial properties. They weren't placed there accidentally. Someone 60,000 years ago understood that certain plants did something to the body, and they were correct. Ephedra is still used in modern medicine. Yarrow has documented wound healing properties. The World Health Organization estimates that 80% of the world's population still relies on plant-based medicine as a primary treatment. The pharmacy didn't invent plant medicine. It inherited it. And then there's the strangest discovery of all. Ancient healers, shamans, medicine people, ritual specialists were not simply performing superstition. Studies of shamanic healing practices across dozens of unconnected ancient cultures found a consistent pattern. The healer created an altered psychological state in the patient through rhythm, through breath, through prolonged ritual. What they were doing without knowing it was activating the placebo response, which is not weakness, which is not imagination, which is the brain, the most powerful pharmaceutical factory ever discovered, producing real compounds, real pain relief, real immune activation, real physiological change. The ritual was the medicine, and it worked. So here's what the evidence quietly reveals. Ancient humans survived sickness not despite being primitive, but because of something we've slowly dismantled. They treated illness as a community event, not a private one. They used the healing power of human presence, not just chemistry. They understood, through observation, through generations of watching, that certain plants changed the body. And they knew instinctively that the mind and the body were not separate things to be treated separately. Modern medicine split them apart, and only recently has it started to put them back together. Which leaves one final question. The toothless man. the one who should have died, the one whose broken bones healed, because someone decided he was worth saving. He wasn't saved by medicine. He was saved by a decision. Someone looked at a person who offered nothing to the group's survival and chose to keep him alive anyway. That decision is 50,000 years old, and it might be the most human thing ever discovered. The question is, what does it say about us that we're only now starting to remember it?